In today's video, we will go over the steps to commission the Q.HOME Core Energy Storage System. This video is intended as a quick reference guide for installers commissioning the Q.HOME Core Energy Storage System. Before commissioning, please visit Q.PARTNERUS.com and sign up to become a Q.Partner. Then register and complete the Q.HOME Core ESS training online. Once complete, email your course certificate to na.support@Qcells.com to receive your Q.HOME agent or installer credentials. You can find more information and technical documents for the Q.HOME Core ESS system in the Q.HOME Core Technical Resource Guide found online at us.qcells.com. Search for the Home Energy Storage section under Products and Services, then select Q.HOME Core. To complete the commissioning process, you will need the following: access to the Q.HOME monitoring portal, access to the Q.HOME mobile app, established network communications for the inverter, a fully installed system ready to be powered on, the Q.HOME Core Technical Resource Guide and Installation Manual. Before you go on site, consider the following. An end-user account must be manually created by the installer for the system owner to access the monitoring portal. You can create this account before arriving on site as long as you have the dongle serial number which will be installed. If the site does not have a reliable Wi-Fi network, a cellular or Ethernet dongle can be installed in its place. Cellular dongles must be purchased separately and activated before installation. To activate the cellular dongle, please contact Qcells customer support 24 hours ahead of your intended site visit to ensure the activation is complete and ready for use on the day of installation. If you've created an end-user account prior to your scheduled site visit, be sure to add the account to your system and site list. This will ensure that you have access to the site on your mobile app during your visit and expedite the commissioning process. Commissioning the system includes the completion of the following steps. Create an end-user account. Add the end-user account to your system and site list. Inverter communications setup. Inverter configuration settings. System firmware update check. Hardware check and system review. The end-user account allows the system owner to monitor their system remotely and should be manually created by the installer. A new account can be created on the Q.HOME monitoring portal. To do so, open a new web browser on your mobile phone or computer, then search for portal-q-cells.us. If you are already logged into your account, you will need to log out to find the Sign Up button from the main login page. Click the Sign Up button from the main login page to input the site details. Enter the dongle serial number as the registration number for the system. Create a username and password for the system owner. Be sure to save this separately to share with them after completing the commissioning steps. Fill in the system size, system owner information, site address, and agree to the terms and conditions before selecting Sign Up. To monitor a system remotely from your installer account, sign in to the Q.HOME monitoring portal and add the registration number of the site as a new device. Log in to your installer account, then navigate to the sidebar menu on the left-hand side of the screen and select Device Management. A drop-down menu will appear where you can select new devices. Locate the Add button at the top of the screen and click Add. You will then see a pop-up window asking for the registration number of the system you want to add to your account. Input the dongle serial number and select OK. After adding the site, confirm that you received the notification saying Operation Successful. You can check that the site has been added to your account by navigating back to the sidebar menu and clicking System and Site. The site should now be visible in this list if it was added successfully. Setting up the inverter's communication cannot be done remotely. This process must be completed when on site. You will need the system owner's Wi-Fi network credentials to connect a Wi-Fi dongle. When installing a cellular dongle, please refer to the Cellular Dongle Commissioning Guide found in the Q.HOME Core Technical Resource Guide. Before attempting to connect the inverter to Wi-Fi, ensure that the system is fully powered on and that all hardware LED lights are lit up. Connect your device to the system owner's Wi-Fi network and log into the Q.HOME mobile app. Click the settings icon found on the top left side of the main landing page and select Wi-Fi connection. Enter the Wi-Fi dongle serial number or select the QR code button to scan the QR code on the Wi-Fi dongle. Allow the app permission to use location and Bluetooth to locate the system owner's network. The network name should automatically populate when these services are enabled. Enter the system owner's Wi-Fi password and select Next. Manually enter the network name if it does not show up. The Wi-Fi configuration process is complete when all 4 stages are checked and the Wi-Fi dongle LED light shows solid green. This may take a few minutes. Click Finish to exit the Wi-Fi connection page. The inverter settings will vary depending on the hardware installed and system configuration type. To see the complete explanation of the inverter settings and configuration types, please refer to the Q.HOME Core Commissioning Guide found in the Q.HOME Core Technical Resource Guide document. In this video, we will look at the configuration settings for a backup-enabled Q.HOME Core system with 1 Q-volt inverter and battery stack. Using the Q.HOME mobile app, log in and select the Inverter tab at the top of the screen. Find the inverter serial number associated with the system. The site will only appear in this list after it's been added to your installer account as a new device from the monitoring portal webpage. Find the Settings icon to the right of the inverter serial number and click on it to access the inverter settings. The settings will be characterized between Basic, Advanced, and Super. You will only need to access the basic and advanced settings to complete commissioning. Start with basic settings to verify the date, time, and language are correct. Select System Switch and set this to On, then press Save. Select Work Mode and choose your desired mode appropriate for the system owner, then press Save. Go back to the inverter settings and enter the advanced settings. Input the password found in the commissioning guide to access advanced settings. Once in the advanced settings, select Grid Code and choose the code appropriate for your location. Select Grid Recovery and confirm Enter Service shows enabled. Scroll down the list to verify the parallel setting is set to Free and Presence of Hub is enabled. Scroll further down and select Home Backup Mode, then select between Whole Home or Partial Home Backup. Once complete, exit out of the inverter settings and go back to the inverter list to complete the next step. It is important to verify that the hardware is up to date with the most recent firmware version for optimal operation. From the same inverter list in the Q.HOME mobile app, locate the correct inverter serial number associated with the system. Find the firmware icon to the right of the inverter serial number and click on it to access the hardware firmware versions. Select the equipment classification and choose the most recent firmware. When selecting the firmware version, please check the remarks to verify the status as official version. Each firmware version is labeled as V. followed by a number, in increasing order for the most recent version. In other words, the higher the numerical value, the more recent the firmware version is. You can find the existing hardware firmware versions at the top of the page to verify if it should be updated. Update the firmware in the following order: Communication Module, Hub, Inverter ARM, Inverter DSP, Inverter Deputy DSP, and Battery. Each firmware update will display the status of the download as a percentage between 0 and 100%. Once fully downloaded, the inverter status will change to updating or show the updating icon. The firmware update is complete when the status changes to Update Completed or the checkmark appears on the firmware. Once all firmware updates are complete, reset the system by powering down the hardware, then turn everything back on. The steps outlined for the firmware update require the inverter to be communicating with a network. If no network is available for the inverter to connect to, a local firmware update can be pushed using a USB thumb drive. Please contact support for more information on where to access these files. After resetting the system, allow the inverter to complete its check mode, then confirm no errors or alarms are flagging on the system. Connect to the inverter locally or check the monitoring data to ensure solar is producing power and the consumption data is reporting correctly. Also check that the battery is charging by temporarily switching to backup mode to prioritize battery charging. And test the operation of EPS mode by turning off the disconnecting device feeding the hub. The inverter will enter EPS mode and will energize the backup load panel with solar and battery power. If no alarms or errors persist and the EPS mode operation test passes, you have successfully completed the commissioning of the Q.HOME Core system. Congratulations, and thank you for watching this video.